This is the $113 Omega Aqua Terra Homage by Phylida watches. It's a go anywhere, do anything style of watch with a sapphire crystal, an NH35 in the back, and 100 meters of water resistance. It's almost perfect, especially for the price. But what is the price? I said it's $113. But everything has hidden costs. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you don't know me, I'm Travis, and this is Timescribe. Yeah, I've started this channel to document my journey with affordable watches. If you haven't checked out any of my other reviews, go and check it out. And if you have, let me know what you prefer. Today, I'm doing a more casual style review. If you like this, or you prefer my other reviews, comment down below and let me know. And hey man, consider liking the video and subscribing. It's free! And who doesn't like free stuff, right? Alright, time to get into this watch. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the dimensions and specifications. The price, $113 on AliExpress, and less in the sales. I got it for $90 about a year ago. The case diameter is 40.3 millimeters, with a lug-to-lug of 48 millimeters, a lug width 20 millimeters, and a thickness of 13.9 millimeters, including the domed sapphire crystal. The crown is nice and big at 6.7 millimeters, and the watch weighs in at 139 grams, sized up for my 6¼ inch wrists. It also has 100 meters of water resistance and an NH35. As we said, this is homaging the Omega Aqua Terra. It's going to have pretty much all the styling cues that you would expect from that watch. Okay. At the time of recording, Omega have just released their new Aqua Terra models, which look quite different and have dropped what I believe to be a quite exquisite piece of dial work. And that's these horizontally striped dial, right? Or what we like to call a teak dial, because as Omega said originally, it was inspired by the teak flooring on yachts. Okay, very expensive, very luxurious. But I think it looks brilliant. I think it looks perfect, actually. Here we have a grey sunburst variant of this teak dial, so you can see the sunburst effect, and it's really quite spectacular. It's also got the Omega applied indices, these kind of tooth indices, with a date window at 3 o'clock position. Around the edge of the dial, we have this minute track with markings at every minute and Arabics at the 5-minute marks. Some arrow style hands over here that's been painted blue, not heat treated blue, but painted blue. Very important distinguishing point. Also on the dial is a rehort that's stainless steel, brushed, nicely done. It's really deep. I think too deep for this kind of watch. But anyway, the blue hands, as striking as they are, I don't think that they work very well here because they're not finished very well. I have two other watches with blue hands, probably all painted, but this one is done in a very cheap manner. It's got this almost electric blue feel. I think if it had a darker blue, it would resemble heat treatment a lot better. Overall, I think this is a very nicely done dial, and one which really helps make the watch look like the Omega it's aping. As mentioned earlier, it's covered by a slightly domed sapphire crystal with no AR coating. In certain lighting conditions, it's going to be really hard to read, but I think it's okay for a watch at this price. The case is also aping the Omega, and it's very nicely finished with some horizontal brushing along the sides, high polished on these lugs, going from lug to lug. And on the inside of the lugs, we have this brushing once again. There are some sharp corners on the underside of the case, but it's not too bad. On the back, we have an Omega style caseback, screw down caseback with a mineral glass opening, so we can see the NH35 in the back here. Okay, and the NH35, if you don't know, it's a hacking and hand winding movement made by Seiko, or the Seiko Epson Corporation. It's got a quick set day change at 3 o'clock and a 41-hour power reserve. Although it's a little thicker than more fashionable movements nowadays, like the PT5000, I think it's really good. It's cheap, it's robust, it's reliable, and this one's running at -3 seconds per day a year after I purchased it. That's pretty spectacular, and I don't think you can get much better for this price, or even much higher prices. Let's talk about the crown now. The crown is a screwed down, muffin shaped crown. It's unsigned, as you can see over here, and even though it's polished, it's large and grippy and makes it easy to use. So, unfortunately, the threading isn't great. It unscrews perfectly fine, but when you would like to screw down again, it doesn't catch first time. So you have to give it some work. The minor deterrents, not too bad. It's okay. Because of the screw down crown and the screw down caseback, this watch has 100 meters of water resistance. Great for a go anywhere, do anything style of watch, right? But I was expecting more with the 14mm case thickness. Either that or reduce the thickness of this case. I don't think it needs to be that thick. Let's quickly touch on the Lume, because the Lume is poor. There's nothing more to say about it. It doesn't last long, and I think that you could do a lot better for the money. Okay, let's get onto the bracelet of this watch, and I think this is one of the down points. This is one of the worst parts of this watch. I'll tell you why. It looks good at first. It's the Omega Aqua Terra style bracelet, so it's a 3-link bracelet with brushed outer links and polished center links, a fingerprint magnet, and it has this deployant clasp over here, the butterfly clasp, that can only be closed in one direction. You can't do it the other way, and it's really difficult to disengage and engage again. You see, you can't do it the one way, so it doesn't work that well. On top of that, no micro adjusts, no half links, so it's going to be terrible to adjust to your wrist. I think this is a really bad bracelet. The polishing is really bad. The brushing's okay, not too bad. And the comfort, it's not good. I know some people don't mind this. I have a big problem with it. I don't like it. And actually, after about a month of use, I took this off of the bracelet and I put the bracelets in the box. I've only got it back on for the review. So yeah, that's the thing. I don't think this bracelet is very good at all. On my 6¼ inch wrists, it's a little tight because of the lack of micro adjust in this bracelet. But it looks nice. It wears bigger than the size suggests, and also it's thicker than what you would expect. The case back protruding and lifting this off of my wrist, it looks a bit like a UFO with the slab-sided case and the case back protruding so far. That's not great, as well as these weird end links. Yeah, it's weird. I can't get over it, to be honest. Maybe if I had a bigger wrist, it wouldn't look as bad, but I don't like it on this. And this brings us on to the good, the bad, and the ugly of this watch. I'm going to start with the good, okay? And there are lots of good points. The price for an automatic watch with the sapphire crystal and NH35, this is a great, great price. It has fantastic looks, just like it should, because it's copying the Omega. The case finishing is done nicely, the dial details are superb, and it's really solid feeling. The bad points, the crown, the threading. The lume is poor. If you like lume, this is not the watch for you. There's some sharp edges on the underside. The thickness is too thick in my opinion, 14 millimeters, too thick. Especially with only 100 meters of water resistance. I think they could have done better. This protruding case back and the very deep re-hearts on the watch, I don't think it makes it look good. Looks a bit like a UFO. And the blue hands, it's not finished well, in my opinion. The ugly side of the watch, the bracelet. It's so bad, it's a throwaway. I wouldn't be wearing it on this. And there's one thing I haven't told you, and that's at the 6 o'clock index, there's a bit of dirt or grime on there. And it's very visible even without a macro lens. I will, of course, put up some macros so you can see what it looks like. Even my girlfriend, who I gave this watch to, she noticed it straight away. And that's the hidden cost I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Yes, I got this for $90 and I thought it was amazing. It is, it should be. But that hidden cost of QC is just, it's there. And this is something you would have to get used to with buying, when buying from AliExpress. It's the risk you take and the price you pay sometimes. It's a lovely watch, but with QC that bad, I just can't recommend it if you're unwilling to put up with something like that. But hey, what do you think? Am I crazy? Should I be expecting more for the price? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the review. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Remember, it's free. Alright, see you next time. Bye.